like just enough space this year if we could. I see what you're saying now.
That's what I'm saying. But it's not going to stay. That's the thing.
No, I think one of the steps.
Say it one more time.
And David, the girls sit right there, you gotta sit right there.
Y'all can sit right here. Both of y'all can sit on the couch next to excuse me,
Seat right there.
All right, let's get it, y'all. Hey, everybody, let's clap it up, man. We love Hey, Shalom, Yahweh, Timmy, Yahweh, Shabbat, Rocket, to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh, Shamar. I'm talking about Yahweh, shout all the sisters, man. This is the I.S.U.P.K. out of 125th Harlem, New York, under command of General YAHANNA. And this is a glorious occasion, man. And I definitely want to let them know, like, the people are hungry. Some of that food can start being brought down and served. Like, we ain't got to wait to eat. We can eat. This ain't going to be, super long like that. But we just want to let people understand, why we're having this glorious occasion, why it was so amazing. Because, a lot of times people think we don't appreciate, sisters and all that. And then this book is out of the book of Esther. This sister made it into the Bible because she was absolutely amazing. You know what I'm saying? She was absolutely amazing. And, this also showed us how weak our leaders are compared to how our leaders used to be with brothers in the scripture. So we have some amazing brothers and sisters. And this sister, got a book in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Because, she was an amazing sister. All right. So we're gonna get into a little bit of that, but also, if anybody has any questions, this is a time too as well. If you have questions about any scriptures, anything that has come out, anything at all, we can ask questions and things like that. This is not the Christian church where you can't ask no questions about the Bible and things like that. We encourage you to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, because this is about understanding the Bible and breaking down and getting the truth and being understanding the truth and things like that. All right. So, ask any questions that you may have. Just shoot your hand up, and we will be honored to answer your question. But we are honored to have all you brothers and sisters here. And this is our absolutely glorious occasion. The Purim feast. We have a feast. That's why we come together to eat to remember. And never forget what our ancestors went through and things like that. All right. So we never want to forget that, never at all. And like I told y'all, sisters, like I said, we have the upstairs area. If you would like to, let them go up there, take the children up there, that's completely fine. It's up to y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's on the second, on the rooftop area. We got that area up there with the food. We got to take the elevator up to the 8th floor and take the stairs to the rooftop. And y'all can go up there. They watching the class. Everybody, you can just turn it on your phone. They got it showing up there. It's like what they call it, like the overflow area. You know what I'm saying? And we got so many people. So the overflow area. So just turn it.
My bad.
Yeah.
Wash your hands.
Oh, yeah, so we've been
Come on, man. Watch what you're doing, homie. Come on.
So any questions you may have. Also, like I said, while y'all going up there, we all got this technology to turn your phones on and type your questions in and things like that. All right. So, like I said, man, this is a class of action questions. So we're gonna get into it. Let's go. Definitely put your phones on mute or put them on vibrate.
They go and stay with them.
I don't think there's no.
All right, so let's get back into it. All right, so we're gonna get into the book. Like I said, we got an amazing sister that we want to speak about, an amazing brother. We're gonna explain and talk about why we are celebrating, the High Holy Day of Purim. All right, let's get into it. So, if you don't have any questions, no questions in the room. No questions in the room. We're gonna get into it. So let's start off with to get some little context. Let's grab Esther 1:1 real quick.
Ready?
Baby?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay. That's the she's okay. Go ahead.
Esther, chapter 1, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Azarus.
Who?
Azarus.
Azarus. I know y'all probably didn't seen that movie.
Right.
300 back in the day. Azarus, that's the dude who they called him 300 Xerxes.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the Xerxes time. And he ruled everything like they showed in the movie. There's a lot of things like we're trying to say that we was the 300, but that wasn't us. We was more of the slaves in Xerxes' army. You know what I'm saying? Because he conquered, everybody. And we was more of the reason why he was so great. Just like any empire. Just like the reason America is great is because they have our people here. You know what I'm saying? That's the same reason Xerxes' army was so great, because they had us in his army. It's the same situation. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Come. This is Azarus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia over 107 and 20 provinces.
Right, 107 and 20 provinces. So he, like I said, reigned over everything. Had half the world, but just sold up, right? You know what I'm saying? He had, it was his, he was the man. All right? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to diminish that, because this shows how amazing these brothers and sisters who we're going to come to talk about in this book of Esther, like why she was so amazing. You know what I'm saying? Why she, got this book, in the scriptures, because she was an amazing sister. And the things that she did deserve to be, honored, be remembered and reverenced forever.
Right.
All right? Along with the brother, in the story as well. All right, so keep on.
Verse 2, that in those days, when the king Azarus sat on the throne of his king, all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces being before him.
Yeah. So this was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? I said he was a big deal. The thing is just kind of, like I said, giving a little context. We're gonna jump forward. We're giving a little context. You need something? Oh, you just listen. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Let's get it.
Verse 4, when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent days, even 104. Verse 5, And when these days were expired, unto all the people that were present, both unto great and small, in the court of the garden of the king's palace.
Right, so he doing this thing, he flexing his he flexing.
That's exactly what I
You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
He's flexing right now, flexing all his glory, got all the people coming doing this thing and flexing amongst the people. You know what I'm saying? Like they show. All right, keep going.
Come. Verse 6, where were white, green, and blue hangings, fastened with cords of fine linen, and purple pillars of marble. The beds were in silver upon the pavement of red and blue, and white and black marble. Verse 7, and they gave them drink, the vessels being diverse one from another, royal wine in abundance, according to the state of the king.
You know what I'm saying? You're seeing all the flexing going on. You're seeing all the golden shit. So we're going to jump down and go, let's jump over to chapter 2.
Come. Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Esther chapter 2, verse 1. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done, and what was decreed against her.
Right, so this is, like I said, this is the King Xerxes, you know, the same king that they portrayed in that movie 300. Right. This is him. You know what I'm saying? This is, how you say his name? Which is Xerxes. This is that king. Like I said, we were slaves in his army because he went and conquered the whole earth. And, you know, the reason his army was so great and massive is because we was in it. Just like the earth now, the greatest militaries on the earth. America is the greatest military on the earth because we are part of this empire.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Well, you are. You know what I'm saying? So that's just to reiterate what was going on at that time. I got kicked though.
Yeah, I had a feeling, that's why I looked. I just had to do a feeling.
All right. Esther chapter 2, verse 1. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done, and what was decreed against her. Verse 2. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king.
Right. So his people was you know, not doing what how they were supposed to. So he wanted something new. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, we kind of skipped a little bit, but so in the beginning they talked about Xerxes. I know y'all just coming back in. Salaki, and let the people know. You know what I'm saying, to get their questions if they have any. Right. Xerxes was flexing. Did we skip? We didn't skip nothing that should have been read in that one. I believe we got everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the whole chapters though.
Right.
As far as Vashti.
The one they talking about right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back.
So she has a backstory.
Okay, let's real quick. Let's get a little bit more of that.
Okay. So let's start at verse 8. I mean 9. So
back in 1.
Yeah. Back in chapter 1.
So chapter 1. Let's get a little bit more before we go over. All right. You know, we was just talking about the king Xerxes and how he was flexing what we remember. I felt like we might have missed a little bit. Yeah. Let's go back and get a little bit of that. Go ahead.
Esther chapter 1, verse 9. Also, verse 8. And the drinking was according to the law, none did compel. For so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house, that they should do according to every man's pleasure. Verse 9. Also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house which belongeth to King Ahasuerus.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 10. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Vistah and Harbana, Victah and Abba. Heathen names.
Right. All heathens. All these he commanded them.
Zethar and Carcass, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Azarias the king. Verse 11, to bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal, to show and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on. That's one crown royal. Verse 12, but the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him.
Because this is Vashti's, I'm trying to just make sure. So Vashti's, there's not, because her name was something else like her with an H.
Yes.
Sorry, so let's keep going.
Vashti was the sister though. Verse 13, then the king.
Vashti's was who?
I believe Vashti was a sister as well.
Was the sister of the, was a sister?
A sister, yeah,
Okay.
a sister, yeah, come. And we also say, ain't no queen in Israel.
Right.
Yeah. Verse 13, but I can always double check. Verse 13, then the king said to the wise men, which knew the time, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. Verse 14, and the next unto him was Karshanah, Shathar, Amathah, Tashid, Meres, Masanah.
I think there might have been another from that one.
Yeah, I say yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I said I know they went into a lot, but we wanted to make sure. So the sister, he wanted her to come and show herself off. Hold on, let's go a little further down. Keep going. Just get down to the next one. The next one after all those names.
Okay.
Yeah, all those heathen names.
Verse 17, for this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. When it shall be reported, the king Azarias commanded Vashti the queen to be brought to him, but she came not. Verse 18, likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen. Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. Verse 19, if it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of Persia, Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before the king Azarias, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. That's deep. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Like I said, like that's what Esther began to come in, because he trying to find a noble woman of his own people, and then had him look on her and look at her like she's something glorious. But there's nothing more glorious than the Black Hispanic Native.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah, right.
There's nothing more glorious. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing more glorious. Keep going.
Verse 20.
Uh,
Verse 20.
Go ahead.
Verse 20. And when the king's decree which he shall make shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great. All the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small. Verse 21. And the sayings pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan.
Right. And that's just something, like I said, we in their kingdom, like just like this kingdom take our customs and culture. That's what they was doing. Them, you know what I'm saying, having a man being over everything, and the women, coming in to be help to the man, and be, to make the man look glorious and be glorious in their sight, and do the things that women should do and be feminine. Femininity for a sister is something that's glorious and something to be taken lightly. Anything like that? Keep going.
Come. Verse 22. For he sent letters to all the king's province, and to every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people.
Right.
I forgot about this.
Right.
Okay.
So that's that's still us. Every man, like he's sitting all these things like, hey, y'all, the man is the head of the household. You know, this is how they do their thing. You know, he going all through the earth conquering people. And when you conquer people, you take on, and you see the customs and the cultures and things that they do. He trying to build up his empire in that likeness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he see how amazing our women is. You know, first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? On top of the man, they're like, with these women, like, he just can't get past it. Like, oh my God. Get our women, hey, can you do this? Do what she did, just did over there. Man. Do it. You know, keep going.
Esther, chapter 2, verse 1. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done, and what was decreed against her. Verse 2. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king.
Let us get him some. Let him get him some young mood, young tender things.
Right.
You know, something better.
Give him some.
Yes, right. Keep going.
Verse 3. And let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan, the palace, to the house of the woman, to the custody of Hagee, the king's chamberlain, keeper of the woman, and let their things, let their things for purification be given them. It's like a chamberlain. I mean, a chamberlain is like someone that watches another people, right?
To the custody of the king.
It sounds like a slave.
Right. And it's just and we can get it. It's like, you know, in his chambers, like, you know. Oh yeah, that's still the king's rule.
Yeah. Okay. Verse 4. And let the maiden which pleases the king be queen and stay. And the thing pleased the king, and he did so. Verse 5. Now in Shushan the palace there was a certain Jew, whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shemai, the son of Kish, a Benjamite. Woo-wee.
This is Mordecai. This is some, my brother, you never want to forget, who showed our people how to really be leaders. Like, this is what a real black leader, so-called black Hispanic leader, this is how you should conduct yourself. Like Mordecai. Keep going.
Verse 6. Who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity, which had been carried away with Jonaiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away. Verse 7. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful.
Right.
Who was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter.
Right. Honorable man. You know what I'm saying? Took on, you know, to his people to raise up, you know what I'm saying? Mother and father passed. Like I said, his name Mordecai was honorable. Very honorable. And how he raised his daughter up to be glorious. All right, keep going.
Verse 8. So it came to pass, when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan, the palace, to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house, to the custody of Haggai, keeper of the woman. Verse 9. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, And he speedily gave her her things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, and as belonged to her, and 7 maidens, which were meet.
I lost my spell. What were we in?
We are at verse 9. We are towards the middle, so if you want me to
No, you're good.
Okay. All right. And 7 maidens, which were meet to be given her. Out of the king's house he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the woman.
Okay. So this is, starting to talk about Esther. And then what was that name before? Hegai? Hegai, keep going.
Verse 10, Esther had not showed her people, nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. Verse 11, and Mordecai walked every day before the court of the woman's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her.
Right. So, like I said, this is very important. I don't want to just skip over that part.
Yeah.
That, her being who she was or whatever, she still listened to the man that was over her. Mordecai told her what to do. She said, I'm an independent woman. I do what I want to do and all of these things. She did what the man over her told her to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's why this is, like I said, that's why they put her in here, because what she did was glorious and everything like that. But
Come. Verse 12, now when every maid's turn was come to go, and to King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months.
We didn't start from the top again.
Come. Now when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months. Hey, can I take this real quick? Yeah. After that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of the woman. For so were the days of their purifications accomplished.
What did that sound like? Anybody listening? Go ahead.
Yeah, so at the 6-month rule, that's what it sounds like.
Right.
Give him
Or
a
the
hand.
year rule.
Yep.
Hey, that's that. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to make sure. He wanted to not be sure, but make sure. Did you hear that?
12 months.
That's a lot of food. We don't know every brother.
Alright.
So to go up, like you gotta bring it back down.
To go down. Already just pulled up.
So he's talking about bringing it back, bringing it up.
Coming up.
Oh,
Already
okay.
go
Because they do have
outside.
a lot of food.
They cook a lot of fucking food.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah,
we're
I
all
saw
kids.
All right. Well, let's get it.
We're good. Come on. You can right back. What's up? Yeah, everybody.
Hey, just y'all just jump time.
Hey, hold on. Before you do that, yeah, on the side of this door, open that door right there. It's a little cart. You might be able to put things in that cart. Now you can look on the right side. You could probably use that and not eat everybody, right? Back in there.
Alright, so
So y'all two go, and then if anybody else is good,
just call just call the car phone.
y'all might be too wild with that.
Alright, and lock the door if you could. Go out. Too lock the door.
That was plain right there. As soon as you said that 12 months, I already knew you was talking.
Hey, you said what? Read that again.
Esther chapter 2, verse 12. Now when every man's turn was come to go to the king Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months.
Right, he wanted them 12 months. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. He wanted them fresh, clean for 12 months. Keep going.
According to the manner of the woman, for so were the days of their purifications accomplished.
Right. Go ahead and put that vagina on a fast. Like, go get that vagina 6 months. You know what I'm saying? 12 months to get, to shed itself for the world.
Great.
like for real. Of what keep going?
Go. To wit, 6 months with oil of myrrh.
Right. the oils, get it
Got
smelling
it.
good, get it cleaned out from all these men you've been there with. Keep going.
In 6 months with sweet odors.
Like 6 months with oils in 6 months. That's that 1 year rule right there. That's 6 months and 6 months, ain't it?
Yeah, right.
Again, it's all like he did, you on 6 months and 6 months. Like, look, man, you've been out there. You've been out there doing all manner of evil with that vagina. We gonna put that vagina on a 6 month fast, clean it out, dish it out, you know what I'm saying? Clean that joint out, you know what I'm saying? Get it marinating. Like you marinate that chicken, marinate that vagina in these oils. Get that thing tightened up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to just jump in right behind dude and them like that. We're gonna purify this thing. Go ahead, like, as thus says the Lord. This is the description. I didn't make that up. Keep going.
And with other things for the purifying of the woman.
Right, and amongst other things.
Right. Enough said. Verse 13. Then thus came every maiden unto the king. Whatsoever she desired was given her to go with her out of the house of the woman unto the king's house. Verse 14. In the evening she went, on the morrow she returned into the second house of the woman, to the custody of Shagaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more.
She did what?
Sorry. The king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines, she came in unto the king no more.
She ain't do it. You see what I'm saying? This woman, like one of the brothers is to think, sisters just don't do things with you because you broke, you ain't got the money, you know what I'm saying, and they don't listen to you because of that. And this sister was brought onto a king who was running the whole earth and everything else, and she did not go.
Yes, come.
You know what I'm saying? She didn't go. They don't care about your riches and the fact that you run the whole earth and the whole world trembles at your coming and everybody bows to you. This is the one going. Keep going.
Come. Verse 14. And in the evening she went and Verse 15. Now, when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abahol,
14.
We already finished. I'm just going to read one part. The king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines, she came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that she were called by name.
Right. So the king liked her. Like, what? She ain't trying to come here. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, who is this dude? Who man out there? That don't want to give me none of that thing. Like, who is this that refused the king? Who is this woman that is, what I'm saying, that is so amazing? Go ahead.
Is she like doing playing hard to get touch?
Right, not interested. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, that's not what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? I understand that you and all the virgins soaked in oils, fresh and everything else. Yeah, I mean, just like you want us to be, like, I don't want no damn heathens. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Verse 15. Now, when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abahol, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go into the king, she required nothing but what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the woman, appointed, and Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her.
Hold on, let's get that one more time from the top.
Yeah, come. Verse 15. Now, when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abahol, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go in unto the king, she required nothing but what Haggai and the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the woman, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all of them that looked upon her.
Right. So they look, people remembered that, like, man, You know what I'm saying? She don't want the king. Like this sister who was, you know what I'm saying? Like what's to her? You know what I'm saying? That was just something that was glory that was unheard of. You know what I'm saying? Who don't want to be with the king? Who does that?
Right.
Keep going.
Come. Verse 16. So Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus, until his house royal in the 10th month, which is the month Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. Verse 13. And the king loved Esther.
And what?
And the king loved Esther.
Right. And he loved, like I said, there's nothing like a black Hispanic and Native woman who honors who she is. You know what I'm saying? Who holds her dignity no matter what.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that is a glorious thing, man. Like to hold your dignity and stand for something and have some dignity, and not just give your vagina to anybody who smiles at you and makes you feel good, or get your vagina a little wet or something. You know what I'm saying? Now you ready to risk it. What that mean? You ready to risk it all. Cause the brother didn't turn you on a little bit. Cause the brother got a little bit of money, or or something like that. You ready to bust down for a brother that only wants vagina from you. But this king who had virgins soaking in oils for a year before they came unto him, this woman still refused him, and that's the one he wanted. Forget all these women that had soaked for a year for me and made sure they was clean and purified for me. I want that woman who played, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, who played hard to get, who showed her worth, who showed that, you gonna have to do more than that. Your riches and those things don't impress me. You know what I'm saying? I'm glorious. I'm a royalty. Royalty is in my blood. You are a damn heathen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so like I was said, he is the heathen, right?
Right.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah. In the first chapter, they talk about his nationality, right? Or no?
He was damn heathen.
Pretty much confirmed, though.
Yeah, they talking, you know what I'm saying?
He was Arabian.
Yeah, like
Iranian, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, Persian and Medes and all that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Come. Verse 17. And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight, more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how cold our women is. That's how cold Esther was, and that's why she being spoken about today. Because she wasn't going for no damn heathens or for no, you know what I'm saying, some brother, you know what I'm saying, who just, wanted some vagina or anything like that. Just wasn't giving herself up for nothing. She honored herself. Like this man ruled the damn earth. Had her people enslaved. Like any other woman would go. You know what I'm saying? But Salaki, women is busting down for Happy Meals. 2 4 for 4s. And half a pack of Hennessy and half a pack of cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? This is the king of, you know what I'm saying? This man is the king of the earth. Did y'all get everything?
Yeah, but that was not a good idea.
What you mean? It wasn't good?
This is gonna turn on nothing. I don't want to.
It didn't lift up enough?
We're gonna have to just take all of those till when you go. That was too much about to go through. But we got it in.
So this sister, like I said, this sister refused the king. This is one sister who didn't care about the riches, the fame, the power, and all of that. He had 12, I don't know if it was 12, but he had virgins soaking and purifying themselves for 12 months. The 1 year rule, all of them ready for him. And he didn't want none of them but this sister right here.
It's done.
It's done? Okay.
We're gonna take it out one. Yeah.
So that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti.
Made her queen. You know what I'm saying? Made her queen. You know what I'm saying? Set above everybody, like that in their kingdom. Like that was his, because the other nations, they do that. You know what I'm saying? That's their culture and customs, you know what I'm saying? They have queens or whatever. instead of Vashti.
Go ahead.
Made her queen instead of,
Vashti.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Verse 18. Then the king made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants, even Esther's feast.
And if I'm not mistaken, Vashti was the one who, you know what I'm saying, who thought, you know what I'm saying, she was next in line.
Right, yeah.
He loved the Israelite woman. You know what I'm saying, above all, the one who didn't give, you know, that showed that she was worth more than him.
She was next in line until Esther came in the picture.
Right.
Like, hey, no, she bad. I want her.
This is the one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead.
Verse 18. Then the king made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants, even Esther's feast. And he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king. Verse 19. And when the two virgins were gathered together the second time, then Mordecai sat in the king's gate. Verse 20. Esther had not yet showed her kindred nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she brought up with him.
Now, don't skip past that. Esther being, you see, the king loves her. She sees what she can be. All of that. But who did she listen to? Mordecai, a Benjamite brother, who gave her an order. This is what you do. This is how you handle this situation. This is how you're going to be great in the king's sight. She followed orders. That's why she was looked at like that, because she followed orders. She didn't say, I'm independent. You ain't going to tell me what to do. I'm my own woman. I don't listen to no man. All of this. This woman is spoke of in the Bible because she's followed orders, man. Right. And because she listened to the man that was put over her, she got a book in the scriptures. Right. About being an amazing sister. Go ahead.
Two books.
Two books.
Additions to Esther.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I was going to say, then Mordecai write her a letter and checked her like, yo, like you better do this, you better do that. I think we missed that part.
Right, in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Or it's coming. You know
yeah, something like that.
It's coming.
I just want to make sure that I think it was a letter, something like that.
But yeah. You see, like how serious this was. Like, read that part again.
Yeah, come. Esther 2:20. Esther had not yet showed her kindred nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai.
Esther did the commandments of Mordecai. She said, "Count on God."
Yeah, right.
That's what she said. Count on God. That's what you want me to do. That's what I'm going to do. And she did. And she saw favor in the most powerful man in the earth because she followed orders and wasn't a disgusting woman. Or, you know, like the scripture said, disgusting bitch.
Right.
She was a woman.
Right.
She wasn't shameless. She spoke about because of it. Keep going.
Come. Like as when she was brought up with him.
Right.
Verse 21. In those days, while Mordecai sat in the king's gate, two of the king's chamberlains, Bigthan and Teresh, of those which kept the door, were wroth and sought to lay hands on the king of Zarus.
Right. So now his people was mad and want to kill him. Right, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, you know, our woman ain't good enough. You know what I'm saying? You want heathen. Like they looking at us as heathen, like you want the Israelite women, you know, whatever. They mad at the king now. Keep going.
Come. Verse 22. And the thing was known to Mordecai, who told it unto Esther the queen. And Esther certified the king thereof in Mordecai's name.
Right, so she let him know, hey, this is what's going on with my brother. She didn't just take the credit for it. Like this was something that she kept, hey, my brother don't want to put me up on game. Let me know your people is plotting on you. You know what I'm saying? Like this Israelite, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't even rock with them. But this is one of my favorite, the underlay for the overplay. You know what I'm saying? This is one of my favorite terms. This sister was so bad. Like she used her power for her people.
Right.
And she followed orders. And when she was in a position to give her brother the glory that he deserved, because she knew the only reason she was in that position is because she listened to Mordecai.
Right.
Mordecai, the one who told her, hey, don't trip. Go in there, soak yourself up, purify that box, do everything, you know what I'm saying? Do all of that. But keep your dignity. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he gave her the counsel on what to do. Don't just run around laying down with anybody and anything. Follow the counsel so you don't wind up jammed up. Coming back to me. What do I do? You know what I'm saying? No. You ain't finna be jammed up like that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So Mordecai was a brother who was teaching her?
Yeah, he was a Benjamin brother.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He was the uncle.
Oh.
Yeah, and now she tells you that too.
Right.
Like they took her in,
Very
and
honest.
she was taken in by his family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he was a Benjamin. You know what I'm saying? You know, Benjamin, like if you were around Benjamites at all, you know, Command General, like they teachers, they real, you know, family oriented.
Yeah, very wise.
Very wide
Yeah,
family, very close knit family oriented, man. They really like that.
And he knew what was about to.
And he knew a bit like he was like the Lord was with him. You know what I'm saying? And she followed the counsel.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of our sisters don't follow the counsel, and then they come at you with the smug face, like, you know, what do I do? You know, I'm jammed up. I know I should have listened to the counsel, but I didn't. Now, but this sister did listen to the counsel, and so she's not out here looking goofy. Keep going.
That's what I want to say. Because of her obedience, it saved Israel.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right, and that, right.
Yeah.
This was just, like I said, it's serious, but it came from her following the counsel, man. Listening to the brothers that was over her, like really listening and following and using her gifts that the Lord gave her for her people.
She wasn't selfish.
And yeah, I want to say not only just Esther, but yeah, another sister we got a book too, Ruth.
Mhm.
You know, Ruth was amongst the Moabites, the Asian so-called Chinese, and even she showed honor to the Lord and to our own people, or whatever, although she's amongst them. So it's like being a black woman in China, but you're still doing the work of the Lord, or you're doing something honorable amongst your people. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So she notified the king on Mordecai's behalf.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, and my brother put me up on game, your own people on it's your head. Keep going.
Done. Verse 23, and when inquisition was made of the matter, it was found out. Therefore, they were both hanged on a tree. And it was written in the book, and it was written in the book of the Chronicles before the king.
Right.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? Mordecai let the king know they pardon on you. You know what I mean? Keep going.
Come. Chapter 3, verse 1. Esther, chapter 3, verse 1. After these things, did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, Haman, the son of Hammedat, the Agag, and advanced him, and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2, and all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had some command concerning him, but Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence. Verse 3.
Mordecai didn't bow.
Nor
he
reverence.
was, like I said, Mordecai was a man. He was how our leader's supposed to be. Not just bowing. He ain't no Steve Harvey, no Al Sharpton, no Jesse Jackson bowing down to these heathens. You know what I'm saying? Conforming, putting on a dress for them, basically. Keep going.
Verse 3. Then the king's servants which were in the king's gate said unto Mordecai, why transgressest thou the king's commandment? Verse 4. Now it came to pass when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai matters would stand. For he had told them that he was a Jew.
He said what?
For he had told them that he was a Jew.
Yeah, man, we don't get out like that.
Right.
We're Israelite. Ain't doing none of that faggot garbage. He ain't going, man. This is an honorable man right here. like honorable and should be remembered. He spoke about like it should be remembered and reverenced and remembered forever. Keep on.
Verse 5. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. Verse 6. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone.
He wanted to do what to him?
And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone. For they had showed him the people of Mordecai, wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom as a Cyrus.
Right. He would now that go that genocide, like the same thing they trying to do to us in America. We're gonna kill them all. Kill all these niggas, all the Spics, all the Native Indians. We're gonna kill them all. This is where, that ain't nothing new. When they get mad at us for wanting to be who we are and stand up for ourselves, they want to exterminate us, genocide, kill them all, wipe them out. That ain't something new. That is their culture. That is their history. That is their norm. All right, keep going.
Oh, done. Even the people of Mordecai. Let me just go back a little bit. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. Mm-hmm. Verse 7. In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast her, that is the lot before Haman, from day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is the month Adar. Yeah, that should sound like poetry. It's a lot. But
read it one more time.
Yeah, per. Yeah, I forget what that is. In the first month.
I believe that's the Purim.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. In the first month, that is the month of Nisan, the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast her, that is the lot before Haman, from day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is the month Adar. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah. Verse 8. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people.
Right. There's a people scattered abroad amongst all people, and their laws are diverse amongst all. They don't supposed to be doing nothing that all the people they dispersed among. We the people that's scattered everywhere, over all the earth, scattered all around, and our laws, we ain't supposed to be like none of these people. Where we at? Anywhere we go, we tell, why you got your kid on the leash? We don't do that. Stop eating bats. We don't do that. Why are you doing that over there? We don't have sex with kids. We don't do these things. Y'all are tripping. Y'all out of order, out of pocket, all of that. Their laws, they said what their laws are what?
Mm-hmm. There is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people.
Right.
And that's deep.
We don't live like y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we the people that scattered everywhere amongst all the people. It's us. These other nations, they got their little pockets where they go. Everywhere that they go, you know what I'm saying? We, you know what I'm saying, in certain little places, that it's a plan, and it's planned to do that. It's not no coincidence that they got the Somalian center over there in St. Paul. That's the biggest Somali, you know what I'm saying? They come there, that's where they come, and some of them might, dip off amongst America, but that's the hub right there. The biggest, you know what I'm saying? Somalian Central, right there. You know what I'm saying? It's not a coincidence. Chinatowns, everywhere, the Chinatowns in every major city. It's not a coincidence. Our people, you go in, how you ended up over here? Man, my house was in the army, I just stayed. He got killed, I ain't had nowhere else to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go anywhere, you gonna find a brother that's just there, squatting. So just there. Everywhere in the earth, there's a brother that's just there. Like, you here too? Like he was saying, like it's ghettos in Hawaii. The general was just saying the other day. Like ghettos in Hawaii. Mm. You go to Hawaii right now, it's a project over there with crackheads on the stoops in the ghetto in Hawaii. You gonna see it. You see what I'm saying? Keep going.
So like I was gonna say, even Christopher Columbus said that the Native Indians are, a people that serve one God like no other, because he was trying to figure out, like he was studying them for a while, before he decided to kill him and everything like that, or take them by force, which was to kill. And he was just like, there's something strange about them. Like they only serve one God and they don't serve nobody else. And so he was like, they strange, and they, because usually, as far as the white people, they serve all types of gods. They have more than one.
Tree nigga.
Yeah, true.
So keep going.
Yeah, God. Yeah, I got you. That they should be ready against the day. Like I
Well, you know, verse 9, right?
Stop. Oh yeah, I think I was. Well, no, wasn't it 14? Oh, okay, that's it. Esther 3 and 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. No, I see. This is verse 8. And Haman said unto King Azarias, there is a certain scattered abroad and dispersed among the people, and all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people. Neither keep they the king's law, therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them.
What? All right, let's get rid of them. They ain't keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of us. They ain't celebrating Christmas. They ain't doing no. Like we ain't making no money off them. Why do we suffer them? Why do we deal with them? Let's wipe them out. That's what they sought to do back in the 60s when they seen us coming up. You know what I'm saying? They seen the Israelite. That's what the whole war on drugs came about. Like, hey man, these brothers is waking their people up. We gotta do something to fight against this. So let's do the war on drugs. The war on drugs came up because of the Israelite movement and what they was doing. So they had to demonize the black man, make him look horrible. And so when his knowledge came out, people, you know what I'm saying, is looking at it evil. Because they seen what was to come. They know the scriptures, they know what was gonna happen. So I ain't no coincidence that back in the 60s, Nixon then started the war on drugs, and Clinton and Reagan them kept it moving. Because this truth was hit back in the land. So they had to demonize us. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So like even when we did the war on drugs, we such a powerful people that didn't work all the way. They had to bring Clinton in and do the 3 strike law.
Right.
Like they got to keep us down.
That was the war. That's why I summed it up in the war, but that's specific. The 3 strike law with Clinton, Reagan, the stopping frisk. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just so many different, pushes with it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
That's why Reagan said during around the time he was president when that stuff happened, he was saying that he was talking about the angels in space, talking about how NASA and the angels are fighting against each other, but he used the word alien, and he was talking about how our time is going to be cut short soon, so we have to do what we can to pretty much keep our empire rolling. Jim Muhammad brought out the speech. I forget the name of the speech, but it was so clear and cut as far as what he was talking about. And he knew what he was doing and what everybody else was doing. Nancy Reagan, Ronald Reagan, Nixon, and who's the other white guy that was a part of the 3 strike? His name started with an N. It's not Nixon, it's somebody else. I think his name is Noah, something like that. But anyway, like they were saying, like, look, we have to do what we can to stay on top before everything falls down. So like he said, like they understand the scriptures and everything. Of course they do. Even Hitler was killing white folks because they were trying to adopt our culture and trying to be like the niggas.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that is in Texas too.
So it didn't profit them to keep us. Like that's what. So let's destroy him, and that's what this kingdom do right now. We dealing with the same thing. Them trying to destroy us and wipe us out. For keeping our laws, statutes, and commandments. Yeah. That's what it's about. Like they laws are diverse from ours. Let us wipe them out because of that. When we start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, this kingdom will come to an end. They're gonna the race war, everything is gonna start, which is what's happening. Race wars, nations against nations. It's all it's very scriptural.
Right.
Very prophetic. Let's get it.
Come. Verse 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasury.
Right. Like we gonna pay top dollar for anybody. And what that sound like to me is you kill the niggas, you get paid leave.
Yeah.
Police kill niggas, we gonna give you paid leave. Top dollar. Go on vacation, go to the Bahamas, you kill niggas, you get paid leave. You don't worry about it. You know, you can pull up on a little kid, kill him, you know, pull up on a drive-by on him, basically. To me, right. And yeah, you know, pay leave, go to the Bahamas, don't worry about it. We gonna say, you scared for your life, you had a BB gun. You know, who knows? This is a black man. We have vilified. Anybody would have do it. I mean, anybody would have shot the little nigga. It's a lot. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Hammedatha, and Agag, the Jews' enemy.
The what?
The Jews' enemy.
Like, oh yeah.
Right.
That's what you talking about? You know what? Most, you know what I'm saying? You know what? You damn sure right. You know what? There you go. You have all authority. This is my ring, my signature. You have all authority to go on with your plan to wipe them out because you know you right. Gave it to our enemy to wipe us out. Keep going.
Come. Verse 11. And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee, the people also, to do with them as it seemeth good to thee.
Say it again.
God. Verse 11. And the king, and the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee, the people also, to do with them as it seemeth good to thee. Right. That is so evil.
Bro, do what y'all want to do. We're going to make sure y'all have the money and the resources that you need to do what you need to do to them, to you and the people. So that's not only them, it's the Asians. That's why you get beat up in nail salons and slapped around in nail salons. They beat you up. Everybody is coming against our people. It's not just the so-called devil, the so-called oppressor. It's all the nations he's empowering to do this to us. And they all will pay for it. Thus says the Lord. They gonna pay. Keep going.
Verse 12. Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and there was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenants, and to the governors that were over every province, and the rulers of every people of every province, according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language. In the name of King Ahasuerus was it written, and sealed with the king's ring.
So they was on it. They have consulted together in one consent.
Yeah.
They have confederate against thee, that the name of Israel may be in no more in remembrance.
Right. Yeah.
Come on, man. It's right. This is not nothing new. What they doing to us today is not nothing new. They are against our people. Go ahead.
I was going to say too, I don't know if you know, as far as the King David breakdown, as far as the shield of David, shield of David, this scripture also is a precept because the king's ring, when he sealed the envelope, it was with his own signature.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
that's why he said he gave other dude his ring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do. This is my signature for you to go off and do whatever it is you want to do. You can sign, you can sign my name. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. America gave Ronald Reagan, Clinton, Bush. They gave them permission to do this to our people. They are doing this by permission, not by coincidence.
Yeah.
This is by design and permission. Go ahead.
Yeah, come on. Verse 13. No, it's 11. No, it's still 12. No, 13. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's province to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day. Yeah.
I don't gotta tell y'all that's what we going through. We ain't even gotta do it. They kill our old, they kill our young, they kill everything. Like I just said, drive out on a little dude from a BB gun that he bought from your convenience store. You killed them all. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, and to take the spoil of them for a prey. Verse 14, the copy of the writing for a commandment to be given is in every province was published unto all people, that they should be ready against that day.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 15, the post went out, being hastened by the king's commandment, and a decree was given in Suzanne, the palace. And the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city Suzanne was perplexed.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Chapter 4, so like Esther chapter 4, verse 1. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes and went out into the midst of the city.
Right. He was upset like he said, I know that we're going to take this stance, but it's going to cost us. It's going to cost us our lives, some of our brothers and sisters' lives. And so when you give that order and you see people dying behind that order, you're going to mourn for that.
Yeah.
You're going to be sick behind that.
Yeah.
But you know it's necessary. You know it's for the greater good. You know whatever. You know that this is of the Lord. Keep going.
So like one says, what's the order that the president set out? Is it called the executive order? Is that right? So like okay, the whole point that I'm trying to bring out is like the executive order is like a decree. You know what I mean? Like something that you sign and that you like. I don't want to saying like you get permission to do. Like for example, what's so great about this is that the very first 5 months Donald Trump was president, he was setting out executive orders, which are technically a decree, and blacks and Hispanics were dying. Hispanics were being deported and being killed accidentally, and blacks were being killed more by the police, more than when Barack Obama was in charge. See what I'm saying? So that's the same thing. If you want to get an understanding of that, you know what I mean? So
we definitely paid for putting that handlight in office.
Yeah, that's 5 months though.
Like I said, we paid for that, just like we paid for putting. Like I said, they loved Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And that's like we paid for putting him in office. We paid for the choices we made at this time. Go ahead.
Come. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and a bitter cry. Verse 2. And came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth.
Right.
Verse 3. And in every province, whatsoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting, and weeping, and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes.
Right. When the wicked is in rulership, the people mourn.
You
know what I'm saying? And they was in mourning because they were being put to death like we are right now. We being put to death. Our kids, our old women, everybody's been put to death like every other day. You ask about, oh, you didn't see police kill that dude? Which one? Which dude? Are you talking about? No, not that dude, the other dude. No, not that dude, the dude over there. Which dude? No, you talking about the dude the 3 dudes who 3 months ago. We talking about the 3 dudes after them 3 dudes. You know what I'm saying? That you are mourning. You don't even know which 3 dudes have been killed by the police because it's normal. It's become normal for police to kill you in the streets. It's a normal thing. You ain't even surprised by it no more. You like, oh, today, now you ready to make a song like Ice-P. Today was a good day. None of my niggas got shot in the street with the AK on his way to his daughter's party. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a song. It's a you know what I mean? Go ahead. Why?
I mean, I was gonna say it's something like it's temporary. You know what I mean? It's temporary. Like how Captain Mashah said, like, you hear about somebody getting shot and killed. It's like, okay, hey, be mad, be upset, we're gonna protest today, but tomorrow we're going back to our, American lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? He said that's why would separate us from the truth, like the world from the truth, is that we're always upset, we're always mad, and how you know.
You know what I mean? It's a lot. You
Yeah,
know what I
look.
mean? That's even worse than that. It's like smoking on Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I kill them, they be mad. But when they stop being mad, I kill them again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's even more worse. Like it's you know what I mean? Like that's how terrible and ridiculous it is. Like they be mad. I got mind control over niggas. We kill them niggas, they be mad, they riot. When they done rioting, we ain't mad, we kill a nigga again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's you know, it's horrible, man.
Yeah. You know,
It's absolutely horrible, man.
You know, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's really the whole mindset between black and white people. You know what I mean? Like it's like Jeremy Hyman said the only reason why black people are allowed to get killed like that is because black people allow it. And I was just like, huh? And, you know, and the way he broke it down, he was like, you know, you dance and sing, you do all these things for them. Like it's like you're in a way you're giving them permission to do this to you. The protesting and rioting, that doesn't scare them. That gives them more, you know, availability to do that to you, to make you a target.
Like, it would be twerking at the right.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
You know, I was so motherfucking man. I'm talking about.
I know, yeah. I was.
Well, I'm out there at the protests and trying to, you know, be with the people.
Yeah.
They broke out whole dance and
Jesse
they
Jackson.
twerking at the right.
Yeah.
Jesse Jackson talking about come here.
Yeah.
Arms is not for throwing bricks.
Yeah.
Arms is for hugging, not fighting.
Yeah.
Hey, they killed us though. Wait, why are you telling us this? Sound like that's something you should be going to tell them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we ain't should be in nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
We out here twerking
Yeah.
in the name of Philando Castile.
Yeah. It's fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? It's terrible, bro. Like it was a disgusting thing to see.
Yeah. And you know, it's like he said something else very, very dangerous that most politicians and presidents say. He said, I want y'all guys to repeat after me. After what he just told you, what he said this. He was like, all right, repeat after me. Love, love, peace, peace, hope, hope. And he was like, hug each other, some weird shit. And we looking like, this nigga just put a whole spell on everybody.
Niggas out there hugging.
And remind you, Kunayala taught a class about Penguin and, you know, enchantment and stuff like that. And later that day, instead of going to camp, we went there and we was just talking about this. Yakudash was there, Padash was there, I was there, and Kunayala was there. We was like, this is evil. Yes, afterwards, yeah. It went from being mad to, yo, let's dance, let's have fun. Like, what happened? Like, y'all was just angry.
So you know what I'm saying? It was
Like,
disgusting.
goddamn,
But
yeah.
anyways, man, let's keep going.
Yeah,
You know, we're looking at time.
Yeah.
So that's that. Should we skip down to the scriptures? Or,
I mean, if you want to go, otherwise we're at verse 4, chapter 4, verse 4.
Let's see. I'm gonna go all the way to 9.
Okay, yeah. Esther 4, chapter 4. We should go into it after this. Esther 4, chapter 4. So Esther maids and her chamberlains came and told it her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai and to take away his sackcloth from him. But he received it not.
She's trying to be like, oh man, don't breathe. You know, Esther hardcore. Like, man, look, I know you mad, but don't even he received it not. Keep going.
Verse 5. Then called Esther for Haman, to like the top, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it is, so like what it was and why it was. Okay. Verse 6.
This is why we're doing this. So you didn't have to go talk to them. Okay, this is the reason we're doing this to y'all. Let's see how Mordecai took it. Keep going.
Verse 6. So the top went forth to Mordecai unto the street of the city, which was before the king's gate. And Mordecai told him of all that appeared unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Jews to destroy them.
He thought like, man, the jig is up. We know exactly what y'all did, what the plan is. Y'all paying money to kill us. We see what's going on. What's up? Keep going.
Verse 8. Also, he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given at Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go unto the king, to make supplication unto him, and to make request before him for her people.
Right. Like, he's like, look, that's, you know what I'm saying? This is another order. You know, I know you in there with dude, like this is what he has done. This is what's going on. What you gonna do now? Keep going.
Verse 9. And Hattab came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. Verse 10. Again Esther spake unto Hattab and gave him commandment unto Mordecai. Verse 11. All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whether man or woman shall come unto the king unto the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out a scepter that he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days.
Oh, yes, right. Yep.
So she like, look, I understand, Mordecai, you telling me to go bring this to the king, but you know, I might get put to death for this right now.
That's the letter.
Let's go, right. Let's go.
Verse 12. And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. Verse 13. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews.
Right. You ain't safer than us. You think because you in there with dude that he ain't gonna put you to death too?
Right.
Like don't get too big headed because you know you're in that position because I put you and I told you what to do to get in that position. But don't think he won't put you to death like all the rest of us. Don't get too big headed. Keep going.
Esther 4 and 14. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this?
Right, like this is your whole purpose.
Right.
Like if you don't do this, y'all might get, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get put to death anyway. Like even like you said, without holding the peace, you holding your peace. Like this is the time, this is the reason you was in the position. Like now it's time. The reason we put you in this position is this is the reason that you was called to take care of this business. Read that again.
Come. Esther 4 and 14. If thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time,
right, keep going.
Then shall their enlargement, and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place.
If you don't do this work, somebody else gonna do it. Like the Lord say, if you don't do it, the rocks will cry out.
Right.
Keep going.
And deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed.
You and your father's house gonna be destroyed. The Lord, this is gonna happen regardless if you go and do it or not. But your place is gonna be destroyed. Keep going.
But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this?
This is the reason that I gave you the order to be in there and get chummied up with this king for this reason right here. Keep going.
Come, verse 15. Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Verse 16. Go and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise, and so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish.
Good night. Give That's why Esther is in these scriptures, man, because she cared about her people more than herself. Not because she was sitting in the king's house she cared about her people. Like, y'all pray for me. Y'all stop fast for me. Oh, you don't drink nothing. I'm gonna go and do this for y'all. Yeah, you know, pray for me, man. I'm doing this for my people. That's what we say every day when we go out there on the street. We know what they do out here in this world. We don't care nothing about that. We doing this for the people. You know what I'm saying? We know what America does to people who go against America. Who gives it? The Lord is with us. Come on with it. Pray for me is what this sister said. Keep going, man.
Come. Verse 17. So Mordecai went his way and did according to all that Esther had commanded him. Chapter 5. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house.
Right. So she went and dolled herself up to be the baddest thing that blacks, Hispanics, and natives can be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? On their worst day. You know what I'm saying? She, was already badder than them. But now she hey, I'm going ahead and doll myself up a little bit just to show him what time it is. Remind him of what it is. Keep going.
Over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house. Verse 2. And it was so when the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight, and the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter. Verse 3. Then said the king unto her, What wilt thou, Queen Esther? And what is thy request? It shall be even given thee to the half of the kingdom.
Right. What do you want? Oh my God. Well, you have brother be with it. What you want? Anything you don't gotta do this no more. But whatever you need, I will do it to you. I will give it to you. Whatever you want. You have the kingdom. Yeah, half of it is yours. I killed all your people. I don't know. You know what? I was tripping. I forgot how amazing you were.
He said I was tripping.
Like, because he's been doing all of this, but then she had to remind him, women are amazing. He said, to have the kingdom, it shall be given unto you, unto have the kingdom is yours. That's what it was. Michael Jordan had to experience this. Tiger Woods, half of everything you got. You want to mess up with half. You know what I'm saying? But that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's was a cold piece, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a cold piece, but she almost got beside herself, and Mordecai had to remind her, like, this is the reason you're here. Mm-hmm. Don't forget. Mm-hmm. Don't get too big-headed and thinking that you are more than, you know what I'm saying, the cause, bigger than the cause. The reason you in that position is because I gave you counsel and you followed the counsel, and now you're in this position. But because if you didn't follow counsel, you would have been jammed completely up. You know what I'm saying?
So I was going to say, if you think Esther is a bad story, if you read an apocryphal addition to Esther, boy, that's like a backstory. It gives you more details as far as what was going on, with the gaps. But if you read addition to Esther, like it gets even more into detail, how she was beautiful, how she did this, how she did that. Mm-hmm. It's really good. And last year, Commander YAHANNA had went over it. I watched the class all over again. It really gives you a backstory and more details as far as this, all right here. You know what I mean? Like it's really dope, man. If it ain't this, it's real. You know what I'm saying?
That's his whole piece, man. Like I said, she did it. She said, "Pray for me. I'm gonna go and do this for my people. I'm gonna get, keep going."
Yeah, come. Verse 4. And Esther answered, If it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him. Verse 5. Then the king said, Cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther hath said.
Hurry up and get her what she wants. Wherever she wants, I'm trying to get what I need from Esther. You do whatever she says she wanted to do, then do it. Go ahead.
So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared. Verse 6. And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, What is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? Even to the half of the kingdom it shall be performed.
Look, whatever you want. What do you want? I will give it to you. You ain't gonna give me no more, nothing, never again. Who knows? But what do you want? Keep going.
Verse 7. And then answered Esther and said, my petition and my request is, verse 8, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king hath said. Okay. Verse 9. Then went Haman forth that day, joyful with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against his wife. Oh, and Zeresh his wife. Verse 11. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches, and the multitude of his children, and all the things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes and servants of the king. Verse 12. Haman said, moreover, yea, Esther the queen did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared but myself, and tomorrow am I invited unto her also with the king. Verse 13. Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate. Verse 14. Then said Zeresh his wife and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high, and tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai may be hanged therein. Thereon. Then go thou immediately with the king unto the banquet, and the king and the thing pleased Haman.
Right.
And he caused the gallows to be made.
Right. So basically, Haman was like, the king, the queen. I mean, it's like the sister Esther said, I want to throw a banquet. Nobody's invited but the king. That's it. Because she wanted them two to know. But, he knows it's going to be something. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's like, so his people told him, like, look, Israel or whatever told her, get her right hand man put to death, the one who she's listening to, her leader. You know what I'm saying? They knew what it was, like who she's following. Get Mordecai hanged. Because he's the one who got the gas and her. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Come. Chapter 6. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the chronicles, and they were read before the king. Verse 2. And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's chamberlains and the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on King Ahasuerus. Right. Verse 3.
So, yeah, they plotted on him, like everything, all the records. Like he went, like, let me remember what these people have done. Like, let me go get the records. Let the records show that, this woman has saved my life. This woman has shown me this and this and that. Keep going.
Verse 3. And the king said, what honor and dignity have been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servants that minister unto him, there is nothing done for him. Verse 4.
Nobody has done nothing for Mordecai for what he has done for you. You know what I'm saying? Mordecai is the reason you were alive, and then your servants came. Nothing has been done for him. Nothing. But your people are going to come and tell you to hang him, but nothing has been done for him for the good he has done for you. Keep going.
Come. Verse 4. And the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman was come into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him. Oh, I love this story. It's going to backfire. Verse 5. And the king's servant said unto him, behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, let him come in. Verse 6. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor? Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to do honor more than to whom would the king delight to do honor more than to myself?
Like what?
And
like the king likes somebody more than me. Like you gave me the charge to do whatever I wanted to these people. But Esther then came in there and put that, did whatever she do. You know what I'm saying? They came in and doing herself and told you he ready to give her half of everything. And like, look, what you want to do to this man that my woman and told, you know what I'm saying, not to touch, not to lay a finger on the hair of his head. What do you, are you like this more than me? You gave me your ring to your signature to do anything I want to these people. Keep going.
Verse 7. And Haman answered the king, for the man whom the king delighted to honor. Verse 8. Let the royal apparel be brought which is to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head. That's so funny. Verse 9. And let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man withal whom the king delighted to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaim before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighted to honor.
Who is this man? Like, get him a horse. He want to know before he say anything wrong. Like, let me find out exactly who this person is. Maybe it's me, maybe it's not. Who is this person? It seems like it ain't me. Go ahead.
It's like, the crown royal is like the crown.
Yeah, the crown.
It sounds funny to hear it because of the drink, you know. And I've never seen it in the scriptures before, so I don't remember this part.
The royal crown.
Right. Verse, go ahead. Yeah, verse 10. Then the king said to Haman, make haste and take the apparel and the horse as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew.
He thinking come here. Oh yeah, you know what you damn sure are. Take all what you just said to Mordecai. Like, give him a horse, give him a crown, give him everything that you just said. That was a good idea, Mordecai. That was a good idea, Haman. Because he thought it was gonna be for him. He's like, is there somebody more than me? Maybe we should have been this person, you know what I'm saying, all of these perks and just ride them through the city and let everybody in his back like, you know, we got a lot of spoilers. This is good part right here. You know what I'm saying? He just told him to come and get this man on a horse to do everything. But damn, you know what, you damn sure that's a good idea. Go get him, do all that for Mordecai. Baby, hey, son, what's the name you said you wanted all this thing, all that fun? Do it for him. Give him everything that Esther said. You know what? She ain't even, my baby, I know she gonna be happy when I do this for her. You was right about that. But she might want to do that extra thing that I like to do. Select. What else I was doing? Select. Go ahead.
Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken. Verse 11. Then took Haman the apparel and the horse and arrayed Mordecai, and brought him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaimed before him, thus shall it be done unto the man whom the king delighted to honor. Go ahead.
Yeah, he had to do it. Like, man, you can imagine your hater having to come and put a crown on your head and a horse, and just picture it. The man who's been hating on you and trying to kill your people have to kill.
Hastened to his house, mourning and having his head covered.
So he went home crying. After he had to kiss the boot. He cried and went home.
Hey, you might help him? Yeah, all right, that's good, okay. I appreciate you. Verse 13, and Haman told Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends, everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh his wife unto him, if Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shalt surely fall before him. Damn, I do not remember that part. Ooh.
His rib told him. Hey.
God, hey,
get a Lord a hand. You will surely fall. Your wife tell you, it's over with for you. You're going to fall before these Jews. Keep going.
Come. Verse 14. And while they were yet talking with him, came the king's chamberlains and hasted to bring Haman unto the banquet that Esther had prepared. Chapter 7. So the king and Haman came to banquet with Esther the queen. Verse 2. And the king said again unto Haman, to Esther, on the second day, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed, even to the half of the kingdom. Verse 3. Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request. Verse 4. Hey, it's a common gun. Because she kind of just said it not too long ago. Then Esther,
she brought it up. She said,
yeah, exactly.
She didn't want to do it before the people. She like, listen, I want everybody. It ain't going to be no behind closed doors, pillow talking. No, this is going to be a baby. All the people are going to hear what you have said.
Yeah.
Keep going. Go ahead.
Esther chapter 7, verse 3. Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request.
Let me give my life.
Right.
For my people.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me give my life for my people. Grandma request. Life is life with my people.
Verse 4.
And my life for my people's life, or let both of our life, all our lives be spared. Keep going.
Verse 4. For we are sold, and I and my people to be destroyed, to be slain. You already know what's going on. And to be and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage. Damn, that's a strong word. Verse 5. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he, and where is he that durst premise in his heart to do so? Verse 6. And Esther said, the adversary. Presume. All right, I know that. Right here. Okay. Verse 5. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he, and where is he that durst presume in his heart to do so? Oh, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, okay. Verse 6. And Esther said, the adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman.
You see, look. His wife told you, you're going to fall. If you had been the one who's been against these people, it's tight on you. If he didn't promise her the kingdom, half of it. Go ahead.
Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen. I can see it. He's looking like, damn. He's buckling like, damn. Verse 7. And the king arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make request for his life to Esther the queen. For he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king.
You can't lose. He stood. So that's what you want? You want me to kill him? And you ain't gonna leave, baby? You ain't gonna leave. But if I kill dude, I ain't never liked him that much anyway. You know what I'm saying? He seen it. That's what he look at me now. Like, first he gave me the charge to do everything. Now you ready to kill me. This man finna win the Father Vagina Challenge. Yeah, come on with it.
Verse 8. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine. And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was. Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house? As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. Ooh, it's laughing. Verse 9.
Are you gonna do this to me? Yeah. Put the shit on. Me and conversation, I ain't trying to hear none of that, brother. The queen said it, it's over with. It's time.
Right, yeah. Verse 9, and Habanah, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold, also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, here we go, who has spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon.
Hey, that thing he made to hang Mordecai, hang his ass on there. He made his own. You made your bed, you lay it. Like, he said, in the midst of his conversation, he put the bag on his man, and she was cold.
Verse 10, so they hanged Haman on a gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified.
This is right.
God damn.
For this man, like, look, you got my woman ready to leave me. Right now, she about to go. She got her bags packed. She ain't gave me none of that, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been out here. You remember I had 12 virgins, 10 virgins soaking for years, and this is the one that had that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I was gonna say she never like had sex with him, right? I don't think it ever said. Did it say?
So dude got killed for the girl because of the girl. His right hand man.
Yeah,
he
hung his ass on the thing that he built that him. Now that's a good point that you made. Like it didn't say, you know what I'm saying? Like they said that she didn't. It never said like he was like, my father, you really want this, man. Yeah, it sounds like, you really want it. This is what you gotta do. He wanted Esther. Like who's to know if she did it or didn't? But brothers, you know what I'm saying, as we know, after a lot of times after the brothers get it, they don't go as hard. Mm-hmm. So he had already went so hard and did it. He did get it.
He didn't know, right?
Right.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, man. So he, you know what I'm saying? So he started, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he did it. It didn't say that he got it. You know what I'm saying? What we do know is he didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? The other version, the virgins who went on to him, she denied. She didn't go. And, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so all I'm saying is it could be this is what it sounds like is like, you know what I'm saying? If I found favor, you really like me like you say you do, and he ready to risk it all. He ready to give his homeboy everything else because he want Esther. And he don't want to take it because he's the conqueror. He's the king. He's the, you know what I'm saying? He likes to conquer things and taking, you know what I'm saying? He wants to win it fair and square. Like, you know what I'm saying? We go to battle, and that seemed like the spirit he had. Like, I just want to,
It was hardcore back then, man.
You know what I'm saying? Hardcore. But I'll double check to make sure, but it seems like, you know what I'm saying? That she didn't give it to the
he kind of played it.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, you like me this much. If I found favor in your sight, this is what I want you to do for the vagina challenge. Kill your right hand man. Keep going.
Chapter 8. It's like Esther chapter 8, verse 1. On that day did the king Ahasuerus give the house of Haman the Jews enemy unto Esther the queen. And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her. Verse 2. And the king took off his ring which he had taken from Haman and gave it unto Mordecai.
Right.
I love this part.
He hanging off the damn thing. He didn't really took the ring off his finger. Boy, you my right hand man, baby. What else you taking the ring? This your brother? This your family? Here, this is. He got all. What else you want me to do for the vagina? Anything else? Anything I can do? I came out. Okay, whatever. Okay, whatever you want. Anything. Whatever you want me to do, I'm gonna do it right now. Kill him. Hey. Today? Yeah.
It sounds like Kevin Hart.
That's what I said. That's what Kevin Hart said. Okay, all right. I'll do it right now. Right now. No problem. Took the ring off Mordecai dangling finger and put it on Mordecai's hand. Keep going.
And it gave it unto Mordecai, and Esther, Mordecai over the house of Haman. Verse 3, and Esther spake yet again before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him with tears to put away the mischief of Haman the Agagite.
Right.
And it's the device that he had devised against the Jews.
Right now she want everything. Like, please, he been killing us, all my people. You know, he gave my brother the ring. I understand that, but he didn't mess with my people up. He got all your people out there killing us. Make the police stop. Stop it. Make them stop killing us. Make them, you know what I'm saying? Like she at his feet crying. Like she milking it. You know what I'm saying? Like she is milking it. Let's see what happens next. Look, what happens next? She's milking it like that. Keep going.
Verse 8, then the king returned out. Huh?
Show you 4.
Okay.
Chapter 4, verse.
Yeah.
Chapter 8, verse 4.
Oh, I see. Okay, I was over there. Chapter, verse 4. Then the king held out the golden scepter toward Esther. So Esther arose and stood before the king. Verse 5, and said, if it please the king, and if I have found favor in his sight, and the thing seem right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, whatever, which he wrote to destroy the Jews which are in the king's provinces.
Man,
that's dope.
she is cold blood. Like, this Esther was not playing, bro. She was. That's what these balls we talking about. Use you got to get what you want. Cause you got $400, $300 for what you got tonight. You didn't bust down and suck 4 rods, everything else for $1,000. Esther done got her people freed, you know what I'm saying? Got somebody hung, you know what I'm saying? Got his, you know what I'm saying? That's like the president overturning, you know what I'm saying? Brother getting out of prison, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got let out. Sentence is overturned. The person who did it, Donald Trump, hanged the goddamn, all the presidents who ever did anything evil against us. Bro, that's what she did for our people, man. She cold-blooded, bro. Cold peace, this one was. If I really found favor in your sight.
I mean, she said it like 3 times.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These women is cold, man. They can be cold pieces, man. If they be wise, if they use their gifts properly for the Lord,
right,
He will use them to do amazing things. Absolutely amazing things. Man. She said, what? Keep going.
Verse 6, for how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people?
Right. I can't be, you want me to be happy with you. I ain't going to be happy with you. You know what I'm saying? My people getting done like this. I can't give you no head like that. My people get killed in the street. Well, it ain't gonna be good. I can't. Salaki. I'm just, you know, whatever she said. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't think a little different. Keep going. Like how?
Oh, somebody gonna get this.
How can I endure the evil of my? What you say? How can I do the evil of my people that go to my? And how can I endure to see the destruction of my kingdom?
Right.
Like if I found favor in your life, you want me that, but I can't operate like that. It ain't gonna work. Keep going.
Calm down. Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred? Mm-hmm. Verse 7. Then the king Azariah said unto Esther the queen and to Mordecai the Jew, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews.
Right. I've done it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing whatever y'all want. I'm doing it. Keep going.
Verse 8. Write ye also for the Jews as it liketh you in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring for the writing which is written in the king's name, and seal it, seal with the king's ring. May no man reverse.
Hey, all the Jews out. Everybody go. All the Jews out. Kill dude. Anybody who ever done anything, anybody ever done anything to a Jew, kill them, hang them, let them out. They're never gonna happen, baby. I never meant for it to happen. This is what I gotta do to get it. This is it. Yeah. Reverse it all. It can never be reversed. Put my ring on it. It ain't gonna be changed over. You can never do that to the Jews ever again. For the vagina challenge.
He said,
For the vagina challenge. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Verse 9. Then were the king's scribes called at that time in the 3rd month, that is, the month Sivan, on the 7th day. 20th day thereof. And it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews and to the lieutenants and the deputies and rulers of the provinces which are from India unto Ethiopia, and 127 provinces unto every province according to the writing thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing and according to their language.
Everybody.
Right, pretty much. Damn near. That's all they have to say is everybody.
He didn't want to be sure about that. I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything you want me to do.
Right.
Because, you know, all I want is you.
Right.
All he wanted was that bad bitch, that bad Bishopite sister for that is the Israelite.
Bad Bishopite.
I'm talking about bad. Oh, look.
It's not like he said bad Bishopite.
Bad
Bishopite.
I think she was Bishopite. I'm not think she might have been Bishopite. I think she was.
Good.
But, you know what I'm saying? She was cold-blooded. You know what I'm saying? She was a cold piece. Esther was man. You know what I'm saying? Because, man. Like, come on. Keep going.
He said Bishopite. That's funny. Verse 10. And he wrote in the king Azariah's name and sealed it with the king's ring, and sent letters by post on horseback and riders of mules, camels, and young dromedaries? So,
Is that a lot of people?
Dromedaries?
A lot of people coming down the hallway right now?
Hey, yo, y'all.
Hey.
Hey.
Tell them to come in if they coming in. Like,
hey, yo, if y'all could just relax a little bit, calm down.
If they coming in, they need to come in. Whoa, that shit sounded like a goddamn
A marching band or some shit.
yeah.
Hey, look, y'all look loud. Relax. No person not seeing you, sir. All right. Verse 11. Wherein the king granted the Jews which were in every city to gather themselves together and to stand for their life, to destroy, to slay, and to cause to perish all the power of the people province that would assault them, both little ones and women, and to take the spoil of them for a prey. Damn, this is dope.
Like, that's why we do Purim, man.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like this revenge that was taken to this is why Esther is spoke of. This is why this woman in the scriptures, people talking about women, this is why this woman is spoke of. This is a woman spoke of in the scriptures like this. A woman spoke of because she was so amazing and bad. Like, come on, man, that's cold blooded, this sister. Keep going.
Dumb gun. Verse 12. Upon one day, and all the provinces of King Azariah, namely upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar.
All right, let's get down.
Hey, already got it. Okay,
Let's
skip where, sir?
to 9 and 20.
9 and 20, I got you.
We're gonna skip, you know, y'all can keep reading that, but we running low on time. So we're gonna skip down to 9 and 20 to get to the
to why we need 3 verses and 10. Yo, like that's the shortest in history.
Okay.
9
and 20, let's go. We're gonna get it.
And so 9 and 20. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Azariah, both nigh and far. Verse 21. To establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar and the 15th day of the same year.
Right. So this is why we do it like, man, that was cold. Like, he got black people off. This sister with Mordecai, but this sister, what she did, like, she pushed it to another, like, she followed the order, but pushed it even further. Got brothers and sisters out of prison. Got the people who did it to have murdered and taking out young, old kids. She used this, what you call a bad sister, right? Bad. She was called a queen in their society. You know what I'm saying? He made her queen over his people because his Israelite sister was so amazing. She did something, like, just imagine prison reform. Anybody who's been falsely accused, let out. Death row, let out. Like, you gotta imagine what's going on, like what she actually did. And then the people who put them in there and did it to them got put to death. And they took everything that they have gained from them and gave it to them. This is what this sister did. Without giving up the box. Is what it looks like in the scriptures. Because he found favor, like because he wanted it so bad, because he was trying to win for the vagina challenge. Because she was so bad. You know what I'm saying? And she followed orders. You know what I'm saying? Like that, bro. This sister was cold. Esther was cold-blooded. I can only imagine how cold she was, bro. You know what I'm saying? Go keep going. Let's get to this.
Verse 22, as the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, in the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Make this feast, remember it forever and ever. Give it, remember it for all the people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's invited, which we do. The poor is invited. You know, y'all know how we get out. You know, we give to the poor. You know, it even ain't the feast of Purim. You know what I'm saying? We do this. It's not a game. Keep going.
Come. Verse 23, and the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them. Verse 24.
Mordecai was a real black leader, man.
No, he was.
Mordecai was a real black leader. And he guided and led that sister properly. And that sister followed the order. Like, she came and questioned him, like, what if I die? Well, this is the reason you gotta die. This is the reason that you even in this position.
Arya has to keep.
You know what I'm saying? We'll call the number, but let's keep going. Like, you know what I'm saying? What y'all, is it an emergency or something?
No.
He was in truth. Mordecai.
Mordecai,
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
He followed the Most High. He followed counsel first.
So you can kind of compare this to the Moses story, kind of.
I mean,
Hold on. What you mean by that?
From being like the Spirit of the Lord being on.
That's the Holy Spirit.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's definitely the Holy Spirit.
I was going to say too, Mordecai is very known in Israel. I could give you a few artists later that talk about Mordecai all the time. Not just Moses, Mordecai, also Kapakata's Swing Low, you know, Sweet Chariot. He also talks about Mordecai as well. You know what I mean? Like those, like he's a famous person. You know what I mean? He did, you know, what the Lord really, like he was really out like that.
That was the Holy Spirit on that brother.
Damn right.
Not of fear.
Yeah.
The Spirit of the Lord don't give you the spirit of fear. But,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But contrite heart. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, 2 Timothy 1.
You know what I'm saying? Not the spirit of fear, like courage. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so like the Most High doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but a sound mind, peace, and power. You know what I'm saying? So,
of course, this is what you call it?
Proverbs.
No, paraphrase.
Paraphrase,
yeah. But yeah, that's the Holy Spirit, though. You know what I'm saying? We're going Mordecai. He wasn't. Hey, says, what you mean? You might die. That's the whole reason we did this. We knew you might die. The only reason you're still alive to this point is because you listened to me.
Right.
He told her, like, yeah, you might die. Well, let's die. What you thought this was? We should live amongst them and blend in and be one way. You know what I'm saying? No, we doing this. This is all for a reason. Keep going.
All right, no sweat. It's like you got your own. No sweat. Verse 24, because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agag, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast pur, that is, the lot to consume them and to destroy them. Verse 25, but when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, which he devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows. Verse 26. Wherefore they called these days Purim.
They call what?
Wherefore they called these days Purim.
They call these days Purim, man. This is why. You know what I'm saying? Esther did all of that. She never stopped. She still get, who are these people she got hanged right there just then?
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? His people though, like he already had,
Right then.
hanging people. Like anybody who came up against, everybody, bro. Everybody who came, like, that's what a woman said. We are celebrating that. We are celebrating a woman being amazing and listening to a man and not trying to be independent and, you know what I'm saying, don't listen to no man, do what I want to do. Nobody can tell me nothing. No, this woman said, "Con out of one con," and followed orders, and ended herself up to be remembered for all eternity.
That's right.
Give her a hand, give Mordecai a hand. You can listen to the man of the Lord or you cannot, but you will pay the consequences for not.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you will reap the benefits for doing so.
Right.
All right? So with that, man, yeah, I think that's the end of that, right? With that, we're going to close out the Feast of Purim. We're going to go and celebrate the rest of the night.
Yeah, right.
Drink, and toast to Esther and Mordecai,
Yeah, right.
and to all the amazing brothers and sisters who've given their lives in this kingdom, and for the death and destruction of the oppressor and everybody who's in confederate with them against the chosen people of the Lord. With that, I'm gonna say Shalom, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Shabbat, to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh, Shabbat, Hashem, Yahweh, to all the sisters. We get to the Passover, April 9th. Pay your time, support this truth. You know, I.S.U.P.K.com, support this truth. Get to that Passover. Shalom, Israel. Clap it up.
Good ass class, sir.
Slap it and take it, though.
Hey, Sluggy.
What's up?
That word.